Welcome everyone to the Morristown Unitarian Universalist Fellowship. Welcome to this day of memory and farewell. We come here this afternoon to mark the passing and to celebrate the life of Geraldine Silk. Before her death on Saturday, August 16, 2025, Geri graced this world for 79 years, sharing her caring heart, creativity, curiosity, gift for heartfelt connection, and above all, her love for her family and her friends. Although she was taken from us before we were ready to part with her, hers was a long and good life filled with theater, dance, and flute, many fun musical activities with the Folk Project and the Tabor Jammers, fulfilling work as a writer, choreographer, director, dance and drama therapist, and an award-winning professor of diverse subjects ranging from ESL to communication to theater and dance and more. And of course, countless cherished memories with her closest loved ones. And so as we gather here today, let us celebrate Geri's life together. Let it be gratitude more than sadness that brings us here, gratitude for the gift. That Geri's life was full of moments of great joy, of beauty, of laughter, all wrapped up in love. And this morning, Geri's niece, Shayna Silk, will kindle our chalice, the symbol of Geri's Unitarian Universalist faith, as a memorial flame to honor Geri's life. As we gather today to honor the many gifts that Geri brought to us and to our world, may her memory burn bright in our hearts. To Geri and all that she gave and all that she loved, we dedicate this service of memory and farewell. Now, Geri loved music, so let's honor her today by joining our voices together in song with a hymn that was special to her. And the words are going to be on your screen and are also found in your blue hymnal. It's number 1053, How Could Anyone? Several of Geri's loved ones have prepared personal tributes that they would like to share in honor of Geri, and we begin with Geri's niece, Shayna.
And I'm also very short, so bear with me while I... Do we want to give the short person a... That's great. Thank you so much. Well, let me just say, is this volume good? I'll just start by saying how honored I feel to be in front of you today. And I know I just joked about it, but being up here again, a lot to start. It was kind of a whirlwind, I'll be honest. The day of Geraldine's passing, when I heard the news, It was not expected for me, just because I hadn't been in touch with Geri these last couple of years, and boy, am I regretting that. But I will cherish, especially as today reminds me to be grateful for all of the memories, the wonderful times that I had as a child, having Geraldine as my aunt. I couldn't have asked for a better aunt than Geri. She was so fun and eccentric. I just have all these memories of her house, especially the corners of her rooms in her house that she made her own, being bright, full of knickknacks and who knows what's its, and fun stuff for a child to get their hands on and play with. And she, God, she just really loved me, and she loved everybody, but with me, I think, as far back as I can remember, I was just a light for her and her for me. And that was something really, really special. I myself, I'm an only child. I don't have siblings. I don't have a lot of cousins close to me or, other family members close to me. And I just remember feeling how proud Geri was to have me around. It's kind of a full circle moment for me that I've shared with some of you already, that when I was probably about 8 or 9 years old, just barely starting out, learning how to play piano, and probably just as nervous then, she brought me to the Unitarian Fellowship. I didn't know what that was at the time, just a group of really nice people that were welcoming for me then, and they're welcoming now. She let me, she encouraged me to go play a song for everybody at the fellowship all the way back then. And so that just feels like kind of a loop that we are completing today, and it just feels really, really special to be here. So I thank all of you for coming today to honor Geri's life. She clearly lived it well. I really have Patty here to thank, Patty, that she went through a lot of pictures that Geraldine held on to. She was kind of the photographer of our family. A lot of the pictures of our family vacations, she's not in all of them because she was taking the pictures. But she really captured all of these moments of, my young childhood that otherwise would not have stuck around. And luckily, someone was there for her in her early life to capture these moments as well. So now I have the blessing of reliving her life for decades before I existed, seeing parts of her that I didn't know existed. And so even though it is sad and that I am grieving her loss, I think it is truly special to honor and remember the person that she was and the impacts that she made. So let's celebrate that today. Thank you.
And next we will hear from Chris Lamb.
Thank you, Shana. That was beautiful. I don't think I need this, though. Both the music and your words. I know that you were very special to Geri. She spoke of you a lot. Well, I don't actually know when or where I first met Geri, but I think it was by the late 70s, maybe 1980 or so, give or take a year or two. You see, her dad was my dad's doctor, and the two of them were actually very good friends. They'd play tennis together, there'd be parties. Maybe I met through their friendship. Then again, Geri also loved music. She came to a lot of concerts. She came to a lot of my concerts. And if you know Geri, she wasn't shy about getting up and introducing herself to somebody she didn't know. So it's also quite possible that I met her through some music event. In any case, we did bond over music, and especially anything related to the flute. We would attend music parties together, and I admired her ability to improvise by ear. She didn't like playing from sheet music. She loved just playing whatever was in her head. And as many of you know, she was also very creative with words. Before my dad passed away, she not only visited him in the hospital, but she wrote a beautiful note. Now, this was not your everyday Hallmark, I'm thinking about you kind of card. We'd had plenty of those. This was a Geri note that just flowed from the heart and spoke about memories and how he had inspired her, and that gesture meant so much to me at a difficult time. In later years, a flutist friend and I would visit her at the Lester House to play flute trios. It wasn't enough for Geri to simply play in her room. That would have been fine. She wanted an audience. So one day, we arrived and she announced that we're going to play for the Nitwits today. So it turned out that the Nitwits are a group of women at the Lester House who knit together, and they were sufficiently quiet, and they seemed to appreciate our flute trio music. Of course, she also loved her flute choirs. Both the rehearsals and the concerts, she lived for those, and I enjoyed seeing her perform in that context. As the flute became harder for her to play, she often reached out to me with various flute emergencies. We would work through whatever challenge she had and get her flute playing back in order, and she'd be so happy and appreciative that those troublesome notes were once again working. Now, the last time I saw Geri in person was back in May with two good friends, Trish Brangs and Lori Falco. And I think Geri kind of dressed up for the occasion. This was a special visit, and she was very happy to see us. But she wasn't moving around quite the way she had in the past. It was an effort to get across the room with a walker and everything. And I noticed hidden in a corner of her room, her flute was out, semi-hidden. And she said that, well, she hadn't played it in a long time. She didn't think she could. But I brought the flute to her, and it didn't take much effort to get her to play again or much coaxing to get her to play. And she went back, and she was back with her love, the flute, no sheet music, just playing from the heart, and whatever came out of her head came out, and she played beautifully. Now, you'll be hearing from Trish Brangs a little later, and I just wanted to share one more thing. Years ago, there was this nagging thought in my head that I had to introduce Trish and Geri to each other. I wasn't quite sure why. Maybe it's because Geri loved to dance and she worked with special needs people through dance. Maybe it's because Trish has a special needs daughter who likes to dance. But anyway, I did introduce the two of them, and what transpired was a beautiful relationship that I'm sure Trish will speak to in a little bit. Anyway, Geri certainly paved her own way in life. We'll miss her. Thank you.
As we just heard, Geri played the flute with many groups over the years, and several of her fellow performers would like to play two pieces for us now in honor of her today. Geri participated in a performance of these two pieces here at Muff in 2011 with the Folk Project. And now we will hear from Pat Brings. I'm gonna have you come on up.
Whoa. Okay. You'll hear people call me Pat and people call me Trish and whatever. I moved to the Jersey Shore about 6 years ago, and I said, you know what? I don't need to be Pat anymore, but to Geri, of course, I was Pat. Anyhow, I'm reading for a couple of people today. One of them is Zoe, who was one of Geri's several aides for the last couple of years. They were with her 8 hours a day, 7 days a week. Zoe says, your life was a blessing, your memory a treasure. You are loved beyond words. I can wipe away the tears in my eyes, but the ache in my heart will always stay. Geri had a loving heart, but sometimes she was rough with me whenever I'd tell her the right thing to do. When she was sad, I'd take her to her favorite place for ice cream. I took her to all her doctor appointments. She'd say, Zoe, let's go driving. I'll show you the rose garden. We'd go to the movies, see plays at the theater, or Drew University to play her flute, or the Troubadour on Friday night. I added that one. Shopping, wherever she wanted to go, you name it, I was there for her. When Geri was in the nursing home in Morristown, she was unable to do anything for herself, open her eyes or lift her hands. The last day I worked with her was Friday the 15th, August 15th. There was another aide standing next to me at Geri's bedside, telling her if she wants to get back to Leicester, where she lived, Leicester Senior Housing, she had to eat and get strong. Amazingly, Geri waved to me with a big smile and said, bye, Zoe. Saturday, August 16th, I received a call at 8 a.m. saying Geri passed away. I wasn't surprised because she went down very fast. Being at the cemetery wasn't easy, but hopefully she's in a better place without aches and pains. May her soul rest in heavenly peace. Geri will always be in my heart. Love always, Geri. Okay, this one is from a woman named Sarah Morgenstern, who was actually in charge of Geri's burial, and you'll see why. She says, I met Geri over 30 years ago on the track outside of Morristown High School. She was giving therapeutic swim lessons there. That was another one of Geri's adventures. I think she was still teaching water classes when I met her. I invited Geri for Shabbos dinner. She came and we became friends. We did a lot of things together. We went to concerts, visited museums. The most meaningful things we did centered around our Jewish faith. Geri came to our home for many Shabbos dinners and our annual Hanukkah party. She came for Purim, ate matzah, bitter herbs at our seders. She came to our bar and bat mitzvahs. On Shavuot, she came and enjoyed my daughter's fabulous cheesecake. Geri's parents chose to be cremated, and Geri learned that the Jewish way is burial, not cremation. In the Jewish religion, the body is to be treated with great respect, and burning is considered a desecration. So Geri asked my husband and I to make sure she had a proper kosher burial. It was my greatest honor to enable Geri to be buried according to Jewish law and tradition. She may not have known it at the time that she made the choice, but I'm certain she knows how wise that choice was. To stick in my own comment, Sarah told me, the first thing that you do with a Jewish burial is you have something called shomer, which means to watch or to observe. And somebody stays with the body until the funeral. And I thought, that's perfect, because Geri hated being alone. She just hated it. Anyhow, I will think of Geri and miss her on every holiday celebration. May her soul be a blessing. A short one from Jean Scully, representing the Folk Project. Geri volunteered at the Folk Project for more than a decade, giving hundreds and hundreds of hours. We knew we could always count on her when she was healthy to help sell tickets, greet folks. She loved to play her flute in various member shows and share her love of music with us all. We will miss her smiling face. Something I want to stick in, just whatever. So many people really just gave extra. I don't know if it's anybody that was here, but I know there was somebody from one of the flute groups would come and pick her up, bring her to the house, bring her back. There was just so many people that did stuff like that. Another one went through my mind, but I kind of lost it a second. Anyhow, just to be, last one is me. Several of you have already heard the story about how Geri and I met, but I'll repeat it for those of you that haven't. Our mutual friend, Chris Lamb, introduced Geri and I in about 2002. She said, Geri, this is Pat Brangs. Pat, this is Geri Silk. I say, I have an Aunt Ruth Silk. Geri says, I have an Aunt Ruth Silk. And we quickly discover it's the same Aunt Ruth Silk. Geri's father's oldest brother, Sam, was married to my Aunt Ruth. And Geri, while we weren't blood relatives, we have had, I don't know which way, we had a lot of family in common, and we immediately felt very connected. And that's how we stayed for 22 years. Geri has a sense of joy and beauty. We did a lot of fun things together. We went to Fire Island to learn to sail. You're going to see a picture of yourself up there. I also visited Geri or picked her up from every hospital in Morris County and a few outside the county. Anyhow, as Zoe pointed out, Geri had a very loving heart, and she had a special soft spot for my special needs daughter, Amy. Amy came to live with us for 9 months during COVID, and it was very hard. Medications adjustments were being made, and sometimes Amy got very agitated and very hard to handle. Geri and I developed a routine at night. I would call her when Amy was ready to go to bed. And the two of us on the phone, her on speaker, me in person, would sing to Amy so she could calm down enough to go to sleep. And we sang to Amy every night. And she was always there. There were times when Geri was having her own rough time, and I just had to say, Amy needs you. And she was right there. One last thing. Elizabeth Bain, who was Geri's POA and got way more than she bargained for, called me about a month or so ago and said, I've cleaned out Geri's storage unit. There's about 8 boxes. Come and get it. So I did. I came and filled up my car with packing boxes. And they were filled with photos in frames, and photos in boxes, and photos and photos and photos. And while it took me a while, I really enjoyed going through them. I got to see her family. I got to see family trips that you guys took. It was amazing. I got to see how much she loved Shayna. She just was inspired. And I had always wanted to see pictures of Geri young. You know, I knew she had been a dancer. I had never gotten to see it. And you'll see pictures very shortly. I got to see her when she was very young and gorgeous and dancing. It was fabulous. So I was very happy to get to see those photos where she was so full of joy in life. Okay.
And next we'll hear from Kathy Cacavelli. Come on up.
Oh, glasses, yes. Adjectives that come to mind when I think of Geri are whimsical and witty, adventurous and inquisitive, talented and caring. Our song today included the line, "How can anyone ever tell you you are less than whole?" In the years I knew Geri, she often struggled with feeling less than whole, as the medications that evened out her bipolar highs and lows had her feeling flat. Yet she hung in there, refusing to give up the things she loved: music, dance, theater, people. Several muffers have provided insights and stories that bring out her personality. Monica Wilson met Geri in 1978 when they both worked with the Art with People program through the Arts Council of the Morris area, based at Drew University, years before they reconnected at MUF. She and Geri also belonged to a local ski club. Geri skied, I said in surprise. She called herself a careful novice, said Monica, using her favorite K-turns to navigate down the slopes of Killington. Geri's role with Art with People focused on theater and dance. She studied theater arts, acting, stage movement, speech and vocal techniques, dance and directing at Drew, Dartmouth, Rutgers, and Carnegie Mellon, where she earned an MFA in 1971. She taught at schools in California, New England, and New Jersey from the 70s into the 90s, was an artist in residence at the Whole Theater Company in Montclair and the Arts Council of Morris County, and a dance therapist on staff at several schools around the state, including the Early Childhood Learning Center in Chatham. While at Drew, she received the Governor's Award in Dance in 1988 for teaching dance to special populations. Geri had a special friend, John Paul, whom she met through the McArt program here in Morris County in the late 1980s, and made it a point to bring him along on some of her outings, including the Folk Project annual 4th of July picnic, since he loved to dance and sing. A longtime friend and MUF member, Jackie Mulcahy, poses the question, Geri Silk, how to remember her? An easy smile, a quick wit, a trusted friend, and a very, very fun companion. Geri opened up the whole world of dance to me, the pleasures and surprises of the Joyce Theater, the sparkle of a talk performance, along with the delightful meeting of her New York City dance friends. Geri took life as it comes, but moved it up a notch. She was an accomplished dancer as well as a focused teacher. One summer, she delighted my pool friends with water aerobics using plastic jugs and simple implements. She made exercise a fun experience, making the weights heavier by adding more water as we became more proficient. Geri was one of life's great friends. I'm so happy to have met her, said Jackie. Diane Koslow recalls that she and her husband met Geri back in 1985 when they joined the fellowship. Geri had recently moved back from California to be close to her parents, who lived in Morris Plains. She was 35 years old and wanted very much to get married and have children. The Koslows and Geri were in a monthly dinner group together and became good friends, even sometimes going, here's another surprise, going camping together. Who knew? Geri was a very creative person and played the flute at the services at MUF, says Diane. I will always remember her fondly. Geri's articles were published in the New York Times, professional journals, and local papers. She developed workshops, presentations, and videos, appearing on TV and radio, and directed professional community theater and university productions. In the early 1990s, Geri, along with Barbara Stasiak and Joseph Igora, was involved in the Morris County Now local access TV show called New Directions for Women. The idea was formed at a MUF Women's Retreat in 1993 and was still happening 25 years later, says Barbara. And Geri served as one of the 3 camera operators, or as a cue giver, in the Salmon's TV studio. Geri loved to eat out, often joining the lunch bunch group after Sunday services. She also belonged to a MUF vegetarian dinner group, along with Helene and Paul Ferm. Says Helene, Geri loved connecting with people of all ages, especially children. When our 2 kids were young, our family joined in the monthly potluck. Geri and her parents also participated, and they especially enjoyed when it was their turn to host. Geri always connected directly with Mike, and I don't know how to pronounce the next name. Lee? Oh, because it's L-E-A-P-H-E. Lee. And spent extra time talking and playing with them. Both kids, now adults, remember Geri fondly. Geri would often share stories of her own young niece, Shayna, and the special love she had for her. When it comes to her love of music, Geri was involved for years with Folk Project, also a group called Chrysalis, which performed at MUF, the Drew Flute Ensemble, the Flutie Patooties, led by Alyssa Delgado, and the Tabor Jammers, a group that meets monthly at the Bethel in Mount Tabor. Says Tim Sevener, who organizes the jam, not only was Geri an amazing flute player and musician, but also a dancer and a contributor to the world's betterment in so many ways. We will all really miss Geri. And, you know, that was one of those other places where she improvised. She also loved participating in Muff shows and concerts, including creating and directing The Midwife's Tale for Muff in 1992. Former music director Jim Blanton had this to say. To say that Geri was one of a kind is an understatement. As a brand new music director at Muff, one of the very first people to visit my brand new office was Geri Silk. She soon became very involved in our music program and remained so over the 11 years of my directorship. To say the least, I was never bored around Geri. We decided to go to a movie one night and chose one we didn't know much about, but seemed our best option. It turned out to be an R-rated surreal experience, and we laughed our heads off. I once won at the Muff silent auction an overnight trip to a congregant's Vermont ski country vacation home. I went with a few fellow Muffers, among them Geri, who provided ceaseless entertainment. You've never lived until you've seen Geri Silk first thing in the morning. She once entered a choir rehearsal midstream and announced that I had been hired as the new director of the New Jersey Gay Men's Chorus. Of course, it wasn't true, but it sure added a lot of spice to the rehearsal. I miss you, Geri, Jim says. You made my life shimmer. Last year, while she was rehabbing at Livia, I helped Geri bid on Muff service auction events that interested her. That reminded me of this story from Rita Morris. Geri joined our service auction event, Stay Out of the Gutter with Rita, Jane, and Kate, on January 22nd, 2023. I still have a video in my mind of Geri bowling in the farthest lane. She reveled in grabbing that bowling ball and flinging it down the lane, and then turning back with a huge smile and her arms raised in joy. As the afternoon went on, a couple of bowlers had to drop out. And lo and behold, Geri asked to fill their spot in addition to her own. Bless you, Geri, for the joy you bestowed on all of us whenever and wherever you were. Geri was, of course, involved with the dance group at Muff, since dancing and movement played such an important part in her life. Let's just say Geri was interested in all the arts. Her good friend Janice Torciello recalls, Drew Hayes and I have known Geri for more than 30 years. I met her shortly after coming to Muff. After my first long conversation with Geri, I knew she was a very interesting person. But over the many years, I came to appreciate just how creative, talented, and special she really was. Many of us knew different aspects of Geri, but the parts of her Drew and I will most remember are her kindness and that she was very much an artist. Geri was in an Artist's Way group with us many years ago, and through that group, I came to see Geri not only as a dancer, but a poet and a musician as well. She had been a member of the Muff dance group, but then I facilitated a poetry group for a short time and found Geri was also quite a talented writer and poet herself. I was very taken by the poems she shared with me. But the thing that really stands out for me was a conversation she and I had during that Artist's Way group. I was intrigued by her ability to play the flute, and I had shared that I had some bamboo flutes, dabbled a bit, and was self-taught. Geri shared she hadn't played her flute in a very long time, and it needed some repair before she could begin to try playing again. She seemed to want to play again, but was feeling leery about it. Apparently, I encouraged her to get her flute repaired and try playing again. Well, that conversation had more of an impact than I knew at the time. When Geri did begin playing flute again, she told me it was that conversation that pushed her to go back to playing her flute. I was happy to have been able to be supportive in that way to Geri. Also, during the pandemic, Drew took to calling Geri at least once a week just to check in on her and chat. I know it was a great comfort to both Geri and Drew. Though Geri had a lot of challenges and difficulties in her life, she was a shining star filled with many talents, and she shared them freely with us all. We will miss you always, Geri. I will end with these words from a brochure Geri created for an event called Dancing the Spirit, to be held at Ferry Beach Park Association UU Conference Center in Saco, Maine, which she mentioned that she loved. It says, dancing frees the spirit and creates new and exciting visions which release creativity and self. To breathe is human, to dance divine.
And we now have a couple of video tributes to enjoy together.
sunshine. You make me happy when skies are gray. You'll never know, dear, how much I love you. Please don't take my sunshine away. Down by the riverside, down by the riverside, gonna lay down my sword and shield. Down by the riverside, down by the riverside. I ain't gonna study war no more, I ain't gonna study war no more, ain't gonna study war no more, no more. Ain't gonna study war no more, ain't gonna study war no more, ain't gonna study war no more.
All my bags are packed, I'm ready to go. I'm standing here outside your door. I hate to wake you up to say goodbye, but the dawn is breaking, it's early morn. The taxi's waiting, he's blowing his horn. Already I'm so lonesome I could cry. So kiss me and smile for me. Tell me that you'll wait for me. Hold me like you'll never let me go. 'Cause I'm leaving on a jet plane. Don't know when I'll be back again. Oh, babe, I hate to go. There's so many times I've let you down, so many times I've played around. I tell you now, they don't mean a thing. Every place I go, I think of you. Every song I sing for you. When I come back, I'll wear your wedding ring. So kiss me and smile for me. Tell me that you'll wait for me. Hold me like you'll never let me go. 'Cause I'm leaving on a jet plane. Don't know when I'll be back again. Oh, babe, I hate to go.
please join me now in the spirit of meditation or prayer. Spirit of life and love, great God, you who are known by many names, hold us as we gather today to celebrate Geri's life. Surround us in comfort now as we experience the grief that comes from such a deep loss. Help us to find strength in one another. Let us feel the love surrounding us today, the love of family and friends who have come together to bid farewell to one of their own. Spirit of life and love, we give thanks today for the gift of Geri's life. Thank you for the countless number of lives she was able to touch throughout her time here on earth. Keep Geri close to our thoughts and our hearts so that our spirits might be lifted by the memories of this wonderful woman who will always be loved and deeply missed. Comfort us with memories of Geri as a cousin, an aunt, and a friend. May our hearts be filled with gratitude for the life of this woman. Amen, and blessed be. And let's now join together in song one more time with a hymn that was very special to Geri. Many years ago, she even choreographed a dance to this song for the fellowship's dance group. And Geri didn't merely love to dance. She also believed that it had powerful healing properties. As a teacher and a dance therapist, she shared her passion with students and clients alike, with a special emphasis on people with special needs. At one dance conference years ago, she described dance as something that helps us explore on a body level the connection between the inner and unexpressed self to that which is universal. So let's go ahead now and sing Let It Be a Dance We Do in Geri's honor. And let's go ahead and rise and body your spirit for this one. Today we have said our goodbyes and share our love for Geri Silka, unique and brilliant spark of life. From stardust she was formed, and now we commit her light to the stars to which she has returned, recognizing with deep reverence a life well lived. Now the time has come for us to end our service, and Geri's niece Shana will extinguish our chalice flame. Though we have extinguished this chalice, let us be confident that such goodness, such happiness, compassion, and love as Geri's never touched the face of the earth without creating something eternal. Her bright spirit radiates still through our world and through our own lives. Let us seek, therefore, to let our lives be her legacy. Her light is now ours to carry forward out into this world. May we celebrate Geri's life and the lives we now lead, for we are her honor and her memorial. All of her best qualities we now carry forward, for we are now her voice, her hands, and her heart. And we close our celebration of Geri's life with these words by Mary Oliver. Look, the trees are turning their own bodies into pillars of light, are giving off the rich fragrance of cinnamon and fulfillment. The long tapers of cattails are bursting and floating away over the blue shoulders of the ponds, and every pond, no matter what its name is nameless now. Every year, everything I've ever learned in my lifetime leads back to this, the fires and the black river of loss, whose other side is salvation, whose meaning none of us will ever know. To live in this world, you must be able to do three things: to love what is mortal, to hold it against your bones, knowing your very life depends on it. And when the time comes to let it go, to let it go. May peace be with Geri as her spirit flies free, with her family, friends, and all those she loved, and may peace at last be with us all. And after our postlude, which will be offered by Geri's flute teacher, Elise Carter, we will continue our celebration of Geri's life during our reception, which will be over in our Chu Family Hall over that way. Thank you all for coming, and please remain seated for the postlude.
Through her participation in the flute ensemble. So I wasn't really her teacher, but I did enjoy meeting and working with her. And so since I know she was a dancer and life is like a dance, this is a little tune I called the dance.